everyone. This is Ann Patchett. Hello, Ann.
Hi, Reese.
And this is your beautiful store,
Gorgeous.
Parnassus. We're in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And just so happy to meet you finally, because I've been basically your biggest fan and watching this progress of this amazing bookstore. Couldn't believe you opened a bookstore in Nashville.
Yeah, well, somebody had to do it, right?
I know. Tell me a little, well, they closed so many bookstores in Nashville, so tell me about the journey of opening Parnassus.
They closed the bookstores. We had two big bookstores, Davis Kidd, which
Davis
I know
Kidd.
you remember.
My favorite, yes.
Which they moved into the mall, and it was 30,000 square feet, and we had a Borders, and they both closed within 6 months of each other. I met this great woman named Karen Hayes, and we decided to have a partnership. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we got it done, and it's been a dream.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's
Thank
gorgeous,
you.
and you recently expanded.
Yes, this is Pickles and Ice Cream Maternity on
Okay.
this side.
You're wedged between Donut Den
Yeah.
and Pickles and
Ice cream. And
maternity store.
this space that we're in was originally Tan 2000.
I used to go to Tan 2000 in high school. in
You
Southern-
tanned right
This,
here?
right here.
That's
I probably was sitting in a
amazing.
tanning bed right here in 1993.
That's
But
yeah,
thank you. I think
good.
this is sort of a better use of the space.
I think so too. So no more tans, no more maternity wear, but a really great big bookstore.
You do a great job sort of creating a community for people and creating a book club. And
Exactly.
Did you ever imagine that you would be doing something other than writing these beautiful novels?
No, but you know, another part of it that I love is now when I go to the grocery store, people come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for Parnassus Books. We love it. Oh, kids, look, this is the lady who opened the bookstore. Oh, the lady who opened the bookstore." You know, that I can totally get into. And I will say to people, "What are you reading?" And "Thank you so much for supporting the bookstore." And "David Sedaris is coming next week. You have to come to the bookstore."
Right. Well, you are so beloved within the literary community. I was texting with Cheryl Strayed last night. She was like, "Oh, please tell her I said hello," because
Cheryl
you have this sort of
Strayed.
reciprocity relationship where you've been on her podcast, and she's just such a huge fan of yours.
And let me tell you, I think that the book that I sell the most copies of is Tiny Beautiful Things.
It's a gorgeous book.
It's the universal donor. You got a problem, you want to read Tiny Beautiful Things.
That's so interesting. Do you have books that you feel like are for occasions, like graduation? Do people buy similar books for
Yeah,
gifts?
sure. But then, you know, you just have different books for different people.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are a couple of books that I think are baseline. And anybody is going to want The Color of Water by James McBride.
Yeah.
Anybody. Someone who has a PhD and has read everything in the world, somebody who hasn't read a book in 10 years, everybody's going to have a good experience with that book.
Wow.
And I think that Tiny Beautiful Things is very close to that. So now let me ask you this.
Okay.
Can you read and not have it be for work?
Yes, I can. I read nonfiction in the morning. It kind of clears my head, and I feel like I have information and talking points for the day. And then at night, I read fiction just to sort of let go of everything. But I do center around primarily female writers and female protagonists. I want to ask you about, I think about this a lot, and I haven't fully formed this question, but a lot of times people ask me, why don't you just want to be an actress? And I don't, I've been an actor for 25 years. I want to do other things. I'm endlessly interested in people, but I also have a curious brain that makes me want to do other things. And so I guess my question is, do you find that balancing different careers now and different lanes in life has made your life more joyful? Is it made your life more complicated? What is your experience with that?
It's made my life more joyful. And people say to me all the time, "How can you do this? It must take up so much time." And I always say, it doesn't take up nearly as much time as my husband does, or my mother, or my dog, or, the things that take up time in your life are often the things that bring you the most joy. And I can do more and I can do better. And that's a very exciting thought. I'm going to do a nonfiction book on women voting. And it will come out in May of 2020 because August of 2020 is the centennial of the 19th Amendment.
Wow.
And November of 2020 is our next presidential election. So
Perfect timing.
I know.
We need
And
you,
it'll
Ann.
come out in May for Mother's Day and graduation because I am a bookseller. But that idea of like, what can I do? How can I take the talent that I have and do some good in the world. So let's talk about women voting. Let's talk about what we can do. So what's your new thing?
Well, I mean, expanding from making movies and television into reaching out to women and telling them they're all storytellers and trying to find those storytellers that are all over the country, right? So we sort of concentrate in places like New York and Los Angeles, but I think there's all these voices and I want to see these lives. And maybe some people don't write them down. Maybe their form of expression is photography or film, or they're a singer, or they want to have a podcast. And I want to find original female American voices that really explain the experience of being a woman at every age and every culture. And I love doing that. And that feels like my mission. Did you just find sort of your mission at what point in your life? I mean, I feel like
This point, when I
Right.
got the bookstore, I
and
suddenly
how old
thought
were you then when that you got the bookstore?
I'm 53 now, so I was 48. But this thing of like, oh, I didn't know that I could do this.
Yeah.
I had no idea that I could do this. What else do I not know that I can do?
We're going to find out.
Yeah, that's the question.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing everything.
Thank you for coming and for bringing your nice chairs.
I know. Well,
So
I could probably
great.
leave them here. So if anybody ever comes to Nashville, please come and visit Ann Parnassus.
do.
Grab a donut at the Donut Den.
Yeah.
Wander over.
And check us out also online at parnassusbooks.net because you can read the Shop Dog Diaries. And every month I recommend books on the website.
I love that.
I make a list every month of what I'm reading.
Now I'm just hopelessly addicted. I'm going to follow everything.
Good.
Okay.
Good. All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank
Ann.
you.
We'll talk about everything.
Posture?
Posture. Sitting up straight. Two Southern girls.